Hello. Okay, so what is this video all about? This is about balance. So the question is the sun healthy or not? And of course, as you can see here, without the sun, we would not have lemons, peppers, no tomatoes, no bananas, no oranges, no lettuce. This is a bitter one, and they say more and more in science and food research that bitter is very good. Bitter salads, bitter vegetables, and of course, too much honey, just take 1 teaspoon, not more, because it's very sweet, especially if you have diabetes or obesity or any metabolic disease. Just take 1 teaspoon. The oats are very good to regulate your blood sugar, but are there any trees or plants or fruits or vegetables without the sun? Would there be rosemary herbs with flowers? They say it's very good for the immune system. They say it could prevent cancer. Of course, much more medical and health sciences and food research is needed to know the details about herbs, about rosemary, about curcuma, about the lycopene in tomatoes, and if it really can help us to prevent diseases. So it's all about balance. So my older brother, he went to Australia, and in Australia he had a lot of sunshine, and he didn't know that the incidence of cancer, skin cancer, was very high. So I told him when he came back that he had some spots on his hands to go with me to the university hospital in Maastricht, where I studied medical health sciences, and later I did preventive medicine with Harvard University and with Maastricht University, and also, of course, with the Food University of Wageningen. But my brother said, no, it's okay. My doctor said it's just a skin disease. But the doctor was wrong. And my brother refused to go with me to the hospital. He said, no. And I'm still feel very guilty that after 8 years of suffering a lot, like from his hands, the skin cancer went into his head, and then into his eyes and his brain, and the 5 doctors who were operating him when it was much too late, they said they have never seen such a worse case of brain, of skin and brain cancer, So too much of a good thing can be very bad. But a little bit, like every day a little bit of sun for the lemon, this lemon. This is semi-wild, it's not totally wild. They say that one of the best fruits against cancer is this one, the lemon. And I think if it's organic, it's even better. And if it's, more wild, this is a wild orange, but it's even more bitter than this one. And I don't know, we didn't do the test if it's more healthy, but I feel these things from the mountains are pretty organic, pretty good. But without the sun, So we would not have bananas and fruits and vegetables. So it's fantastic. And if I sit in the sun, I get my vitamin D, but also much more than that. You know, I get energy and I feel very good. You know, but the question is, how much is too much and how much is not good enough. So I now cover myself. If I go in the sun or I go after 6 o'clock, you know, now it's 3 o'clock here. So tonight, it was, you know, I'm close to the mountains. It's very cold wind, so it was -2. I took my shower. I take a cold shower every morning. And what happens is, when it's -2, you know, this morning I could only do it for 1 minute. Usually I take 5 minutes cold shower. And they do now research in the Radboud University in Nijmegen, my university. I studied in Maastricht and also in Radboud University. But later I also worked in the Radboud University. And I had my own institute for preventive medicine with a doctor, with 3 dietitians, you know, especially focused on diabetes and metabolic disease and on obesity and prevention. And 2 psychologues, also relaxation, stress management, also even yoga. There was one psychologue who did yoga, very nice, I like it. And yeah, so doctor, 2 health scientists, 3 dietitians, and 2 psychologues. You know, food, exercise, relaxations, addictions. We even had one consultant who did smoking courses. She smoked before, she stopped. But then she made a mistake, you know, because she stopped too late. So she, of course, there is a bigger chance if you smoke that later in life, maybe after 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, it's a slow killer, tobacco. So she died from cancer. And the husband is still in mourning, you know, still very sad that she died. But she was helping people to stop smoking, and that was not easy. Addictions is very hard, you know. If you're addicted to alcohol or smoking or any other thing like drugs or bad relationships, addictions are super hard, you know. On my YouTube channel, I have a lot of videos about a psychiater who talks about how to get rid of addictions. But from my own experience, I can say addictions to alcohol, tobacco are very hard. So, yeah. So going back to my brother, he died, you know, from too much sun. And this woman who smoked, who was giving lessons in my Institute for Preventive Medicine to help people with smoking, she died from cancer. So, but I want to end with the good news, you know. I would advise you eat healthy, which is basically a lot of vegetables, maybe 200 to 600 grams a day, you know, and enough fruits. It might be 100 to 300 grams, depending on how much fruit you eat and how much you like it, and if you have diabetes or obesity. Of course, if you have already obesity and diabetes, don't eat 20 bananas, you know. 1 is enough, and maybe even half one is enough. It has good things, you know, the banana, tryptophan, and you will sleep better, magnesium, you know, very good things. And also I would advise everybody to eat more herbs and spices like curcuma, fresh, ginger, fresh, rosemary, fresh. I put it in my tea, I put it in my soups. And also if I walk in the mountains, I eat these flowers, you know. And it's very nice, you know. Even this little ant is looking like, what's going on here? You know? Okay, but if I ask my son, I have only one little medical research title in preventive medicine. I'm a little man. in Maastricht and Wageningen and Nijmegen, a little bit online courses from the Harvard. But my son did first health sciences, and then he did in Maastricht with understanding how to prevent cancer, how to prevent diabetes, how to understand pharmacology, how to understand epidemiology, normal medical science. Then he did food research in the Wageningen University. If the beta-glucans in the oats and in other products like the shiitakes and mushrooms and if they can help us to improve the immune system and to heal cancer. And yes, he saw that the beta-glucans can help us to strengthen the immune system. And later he did also research into the endocannabinoids. It's kind of omega-3. And if they can improve the immune system, and yes, they can. And I think immune system and gut flora and the brain health and the heart health, of course, but these three, the immune system, the gut flora, and the brain health, are super important. We see now much food and preventive medicine research on that. So keep your gut buddies, your health flora, your gut flora, keep them healthy. So that's the second thing Amar did. First, medical sciences in Maastricht, prevention. Then food sciences in Wageningen, focused on prevention and also helping the immune system to get better, to fight even diabetes and cancer. And the third thing, he was going to University of Ghent to have his PhD in medical and health sciences to change bad into good sugars. Like, for example, in the honey there is a lot of bad sugars, but also some rare good sugars, more complex, and they slow down your metabolism. The same with oats. Oats, there are also rare sugars. In the shiitakes, the mushrooms from Japan, there are good rare slow sugars. So if I don't know much about food, like not like my son. I read every day a lot about food and relaxation and exercise and meditation and yoga and the brain health. I am a food scientist and a health scientist, and a preventive medicine guy. But my son, he knows much more about medical and chemical research and food research, and he's specialized in food now, especially in the rare sugars. So if I don't know, I ask him advice, and he will tell you a much more complicated, a much more detailed story about the latest medical research on that he is reading on PubMed and Medline and all the medical journals, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. So, and he did his PhD in sugars. He was very good, and he got very good results from his nutritional professors and his sugar professors and his medical professors. They were really impressed by his work. So he had all very good results in Wageningen and in Ghent University with his professor De Smet, who is very good, very nice guy. And the rare sugars are very important, and maybe even the rare good sugars are maybe even more important than the fats. You have the good fats like omega-3 and the endocannabinoids, and you have the bad fats, like the LDL and the cholesterol. And the same with sugars. You have the fast sugars, the white sugar that is, they put it in many cookies, and because people like sugar and fat, so that's what the food industry gives us. They want to sell products, But the healthy sugars can even improve the metabolic system, and that's when you have less chance on cancer, less chance on diabetes, less chance on metabolic disease, less chance on chronic disease. We don't know yet if it will influence Alzheimer. This is a complicated question, but we would like to know more, do more research on the prevention of Alzheimer, which is now the most expensive disease, even more than cancer in the Netherlands. So this video is about balance. So don't eat healthy, eat enough fruits, eat enough vegetables and seeds and nuts, and maybe if you're vegetarian, once in a while an organic egg, maybe once in a week. And if you are in favor of sweet potatoes, well, eat some sweet potatoes. They are much better than the normal potatoes, also with more rare sugars. In the apple, there are also rare sugars. So it's all about the balance. So on my YouTube channel, and also, in the University of Ghent, of Wageningen, of Radboud, of Maastricht, and especially the beautiful food website on Harvard University, Food Research, you can find the latest on food research, which is probably more simple than to go to PubMed or Medline, or to Nature, or to the JAMA, or the Lancet. All these medical research for most people are too complicated. And even more complicated is when somebody has a PhD and a book, a publication about food. So I would advise go to the Harvard University website on health and preventive medicine and what you can do to live a long and happy and satisfied life. So now it is probably about 22 degrees in the sunshine. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here in Billisardedaal. So I'm really happy with the sun giving me a lot of vitamin D, a lot of energy, a lot of relaxation. I like to see the sun go down. And I thank you for watching the video. So I would like you today to think about the balance. Not too much sun, but just enough. Not too much vegetable, but just enough, between 300 and 600 grams a day. Not too much fruits, like not a kilo of bananas, but maybe between 100 and 300 grams, And do variation, herbs and spices and many different colors of vegetables. And and take a walk in the mountains, take a cold shower in the morning, but not too much. Again, start slowly, just with 5 seconds, then 10 seconds, depending on how hot or cold it is. And now I'm going to swim in the ocean. I will show you. There is the ocean here. And I'm now going with my bag to the ocean and swim in the ocean. It's now February. It's pretty cold. So I will be very careful not to get a heart attack, just a little bit, maybe half an hour with my neoprene. And I like to walk and cycle in the mountains. Especially I like to walk and cycle uphill. Uphill is for me fantastic to make more muscles. I like to walk, I like to swim, I like to cycle a lot uphill to the mountains. So, and I like to sit in this beautiful sunshine. So thank you very much. There's a very beautiful lemon tree. And think about today about your balance in food, exercise, relaxation, and addictions. And remember, tobacco probably kills more people than the whole war industry. So it's a slow killer. So if you're young, you don't think nothing is going to happen. Well, wait. Many of my friends, even doctors, are not immune. It's not like tobacco or alcohol says, you're a doctor or a nurse or a scientist. You will not be harmed by tobacco. No. I would advise you stop the bad addictions and start good habits. Food, exercise, relaxation. And in the relaxation, very important, try to be very silent if you go inside and in the mountains, you know. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go and swim now. Bye-bye.